Attitudes to hernia belts. How was their usefulness perceived by the medical community of the 19th century? Part 2. (1887). Taken from the British Medical Journal, December 10th, 1887. Some statistics of the operation for the radical cure of hernia, by Sir William Mitchell Banks, 1842 to 1904. Doctor of Medicine, Fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons, Surgeon to the Liverpool Royal Infirmary and Professor of Anatomy, University College, Liverpool. From the British Medical Association, 55th Annual Meeting, pages 1261 to 1262. I would, in conclusion, desire to state as briefly as possible what are the general impressions regarding the whole question which have been left upon my mind. I would therefore say, 1. That the prevalent notion that the wearing of a well-fitting and well-acting truss is a great burden is vastly exaggerated. After a time, a man puts on his truss as he puts on his braces, and thinks very little about it, provided it does its work properly. It is only when it is inefficient and consequently uncomfortable that he feels it a nuisance and a burden, and I have known men refuse to part with their trusses when there was every reasonable ground to think they might have safely done so, simply because they felt a certain sense of comfort and security in the wearing of them. 2. With regard to children, I think that operative procedures are very seldom indeed required. Of my 68 cases, only some 4 or 5 were done upon children. I firmly believe that a well-fitting truss, worn for a sufficiently long period, will cure the vast majority of hernia in children, and I have steadily set my face against doing operations upon them. 5. I do not think that any person should be subjected to operation who can wear with comfort a truss which keeps his bowel securely in position. Not one of my 68 cases was of this kind, and I have persistently refused to do operations upon such persons, even when sent to me specially for operation by my medical friends. In consequence of my refusal to operate, they often went away much disappointed. Had I considered it right to operate upon such persons, I could easily have doubled the number of my cases. But if I had a rupture myself and found that a truss made me safe and comfortable, I would by no means be operated upon, and what one would refuse to undergo oneself, one ought not to do to anybody else. Finally, gentlemen, you will perceive that as I have gone on, so far from wishing recklessly to extend the area of the operation, I have come to limit its performance to certain cases only, and more good will be done in this way than by indiscriminate cutting. End of Part 2.